Hello, everyone. This is Jesse with Continue to Give. Really excited about a workshop I just did with Nancy Reeves. We were helping some nonprofits. We were going over great stuff about how to make giving easy and when to use all the different options. I mean, they're getting bombarded with text to give, QR code giving. You got to send emails, you got to send print. And when should you be using all this stuff? And how and why does it work and when doesn't it work? And that's what Nancy and I went over with. Nancy is an expert fundraising coach, and she's just full of ideas. And together, we really put some ideas together and really laid out the steps that you can take to make giving easy and when and how to use all the different options. So, without further ado, here is the workshop that Nancy and I put on.
I'm excited about today. Let's get started. I love the idea that we're going to talk about online giving because Jesse, those who are on here, those who follow me know that I'm all major gifts. So they're thinking, what is this? What is this? She's talking about online giving. So I've just stepped off into a new branch to talk about this with you, and I'm excited to do that. So
Awesome. Well,
welcome.
thanks so much for having me here. I mean, online giving and making giving is definitely what we're easy, and you don't want to cut people out of giving a gift just because they didn't have a checkbook or something like that.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about all that. Let me officially welcome you and introduce you, and then we can get into the chatter and have a great conversation. And I look forward to this. So for you all coming in and are here, we welcome Jesse Wellhoefer. He and his family were missionaries and they struggled to get donations. That's why he set out to make giving easy. So he created an online fundraising software called continuetogive.com. His award-winning tools are used across the globe by organizations large and small to achieve their mission. So he's going to tell us much more about that. So Jesse, welcome. And I'd like to go ahead and say, tell us more. Since I gave that introduction, there's more behind that. So I'd love you to tell us
Absolutely. Yeah,
your story.
I'll just share my screen here real quick.
Okay.
So you guys can probably see this picture. This is a fairly recent
Yeah.
picture. This is myself. You probably pick out me, my wife, and my two little kids. So we're still active missionaries. We do work in Tanzania and other places. We work with widow. We do some widow programs, some pastor training, and even small loan programs in the churches there. It's really cool what we're doing. And as you know, as everybody here, as you're doing your mission, it can be tough to get donations. And even myself, maybe a lot of people are in my shoes where you do short-term mission trips, maybe a month each year. A few years ago, we were gone for 9 months. And those donations are really key to push. And when we started out, there was no easy way for people to give. People didn't have PayPal. And I was like, what if we made a really cool system where people could just give easily and know who they're giving to and know where their money's going and stuff like that. So that's really when we came up with Continue to Give. It's designed to make giving easy. That's really what it's made for. Let people give how they want, when they want, so they can just give. And over the years, as we've worked with more organizations, we've expanded our tool set into even donor management and fund accounting. And today we really want to focus on helping you guys make giving easy so that when you're over on the mission field or wherever you are doing whatever cause you're doing, whether it's here in the States, you just have a system. And even if it's not our system and you're using a system, you can break down the different ways of giving. And we're going to go over that today.
Great. Well, I love the story. Now, you have to say that you're an IT person, not like anybody can say, hey, I've got to build this system, right? So your background is
Right.
IT.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, that was helpful. Well, I love thanks for showing that photo and telling more about how it started. And that's what you say, 8 years ago, Jesse?
When we started up, yeah, that photo is just like a year or two old or something like that, because we're always going. So
Yeah. And you went for 9 months this last time. Is that what you said?
yeah, the 2 times ago, yep, me and my whole family there for 9 months with the little baby and everything over
Oh,
in Tanzania. Yeah.
wow. Wow. That's awesome. Well, here's the first thing I want to start off and asking you, and this is going to set the stage for all of our conversation. What is the main thing that you see nonprofits doing that hinder them from giving, from donors from giving when they're ready to give, when they land on a page? What is it that stops a donor from giving?
Yeah, there's a number of things. And you mentioned when they land on a page. That's also one of the main things. They might not have landed on a page yet.
Yeah.
So what we see a lot of nonprofits giving the wrong way to give, or too many options of giving. Okay. So
Yeah.
first off, let's not assume that they're on your website.
Yeah.
And even if they do go to your website, we don't want to plaster them. Maybe you've signed up for this really cool fundraising platform and they've got text giving and they've got QR code giving, and you don't want to blast your people with that. Hey, choose one of these. No, you want to guide them. So that's probably the main thing, assuming they're on their website already.
Yeah.
And giving them too many options, or forcing people to go to their website. You don't want to force people to go to your website that already are ready to give.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point, is may not be on your landing page. So that's a good correction. So the one thing I heard then is too many options. It's overwhelmed. It's kind of like going to the grocery store and I just need, a bag of sugar, and you've got all these different kinds. It's just like, I just need a bag of sugar, right? And donors just like, I just want to give. I want it to be easy, right?
Absolutely. So you really want to guide people in that sense. So if I could maybe take a poll, Nancy, just to see
Yeah.
how many people are using text giving, or like if you're using it or you want to use it, or where are you in the text giving
Okay.
scenario?
I'm going to launch. Yeah, I'll launch this poll right now. So it should have just popped up.
Yeah, I'd love to see, where we kind of are with text giving, for example, because that's something new that, people want to use, and we'll bring that up as well.
So I'm seeing no's, one yes. No, using text to give. So maybe you want to talk about that. And
Oh yeah, we'll absolutely talk about that a little bit as well. So,
okay.
okay, awesome. So it sounds like some people maybe are interested even in using text to give if they knew more about it, and the people that are using it, we want to make sure you're using it at the right time so that it's effective for you.
Yeah.
And Nancy, I think did we have one other poll?
Yep. We have 3. So the other one is about online giving. Do you currently use online giving? Do you want that one?
Yeah, let's see here.
Okay. So you guys should see that, hopefully. Yes. Okay. Everyone is currently using online giving.
Great. I'd be really surprised if anyone was not using some form, whether it's PayPal or one of the donation systems out there.
Yeah.
Excellent, guys. Hey, this is really great. Thanks for participating. Thanks for bringing this up. Well, let's talk about some things here. So the first thing I want to talk about, I just did this little presentation for you guys today that I think will help. It'll just kind of help you visualize some different things. So I'm going to share my screen again, Nancy.
Okay.
All right, guys. So like, as Nancy pointed out, I'm the founder of Continue to Give, and we make giving easy. And while we make giving easy, we want to make sure that the people that are using our system also make giving easy. So as what I say is, have options, but don't give options. Instead, lead the way. And you may wonder, well, what exactly does that mean? Well, when you're asking people for donations, you're probably going to be asking them on your website. So maybe they are on your website, or you're going to send people email or a text and ask them, or you might have an event, whether you're a church or a nonprofit, you've got people there, you're whatever it might be, fundraising dinner. You might send people snail mail. Maybe you've made up a really great flyer and you're going to email that to everybody. And then you might also be using social media. So these are pretty much the main avenues that you're going to be using when you're asking people to give. And events could also be in person. Maybe you're just met someone and you're talking about stuff. So the reason we give so many options to give isn't so that you can give your donors so many different options to give in the moment, but so that you can use the right option at the right time. Is that making sense to everyone? I hope getting some ideas. Probably know where I'm going with this next. So let's just go over this. Let's say you got your website. All right. So when you've got people on your website and they want to give, you don't want them to jump through any hoops. You just want to present them with a form. So for example, this is Continue to Give's form. Super simple. This can be embedded on your website or whatever. You just want a simple form so they can just set up their recurring giving. Maybe if you have multiple designations, they can give to more, and then they just enter in their credit card and they go. So that's kind of the first one. So you want to embed the form or link to a donation form.
Okay.
Then if you're doing email or text, so let's think about this. They're on their phone already. We just want to give them a link to that donation form. Probably not even your website because they already know who you are. Just link them to your donation form so it shows up and they can just give right there, just like that. And then if you're at an event, this is where text giving and QR code giving are really great. If you have an event, you can do little table tents and you can put your text to give number or your QR code on there. Again, you don't want to be giving people websites or URLs to go to. Just let them do a quick and easy text to give or a QR code. And then if you've got the big screen, you can have it up at the back of the screen at certain times, which is great. Maybe your speaker can be like, if you want to give, just text this number. So you want to prompt them a little bit. And we even have a kiosk that people can give with as well. So people can just walk right up and swipe their credit card. An offering kiosk is also great for events.
Hey, Jesse, let me ask you a
On
question.
social media.
Can I ask you a question there, Jesse?
Yeah, absolutely.
On the events, what percent, just a ballpark, that are you seeing that people are doing between the text to give, the QR code, and going to the kiosk? How does that fall out? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so. The thing about QR codes is like half the population just gets them and they love using them, and then half the population doesn't.
Yeah.
So you'll see that pretty split between people using text to give and QR code. So I always say just put them both. If you've got the little tent, don't just put the QR code, because there's, for whatever reason, they've half the population has been like, yep, I love QR codes, I'm always going to use them. And then the other half of the people are like, I still don't get what those squares are. And for those of you who might not know, QR codes are the squares that you can take a picture of and it will open up a link for you right from the picture.
Yeah.
So,
It's a little intimidating, and I would think the older generation, right? Just technology is just not quite as acceptable, or just, quit that learning curve stops, I think, as we get older.
And if you don't have enough space, then I would say go with the text to give.
Okay.
Over the QR code.
Okay. And then have the kiosk.
Having a kiosk where people can just walk up and swipe their credit card, that is great. Not everyone's going to have an extra iPad or order a card reader. So the text to give and QR code are like free ways if you don't have the extra budget for a kiosk.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right. And then if you're on social media, we really like to give two options. So here's the way I think about it. If people that see your link already know who you are and are all ready to give to you, you want to send them right to that donation form that I said. But what if you're doing social sharing? Think about like the GoFundMe's that you've seen. Sometimes you kind of like to read about them just a little bit first, right?
Yeah.
So continue to give. We also offer a fundraising page similar to GoFundMe. So I'm just gonna bring this over here. So for example, that's me. That was me last year. But anyways, here's kind of like our social fundraising page. So there is a time and a place for a page like this, especially on social media. People might come here, maybe you have a picture or a video here. They can read about you just a little bit, and then they can see other donations and stuff like that. And then they can just give right from there. So great, especially on social media, is a great time for that public fundraising page.
Okay.
Or if maybe you're sharing it with your group who already knows you, then maybe it's directly to the donation form.
But the simpler the better, right? And a
Yeah,
clean, that
absolutely.
clean look.
And then if you're going to be sending out snail mail, again, here's the time to use that text to give and QR code. This is not the time to give people a super long URL and then there's 3 clicks later, because usually people are not going to remember that URL and they're not going to take the time to go over their computer. But if you give them that text to give link and that QR code, that's when they're like, oh, well, I'll just give right now.
Yeah.
So that's really how I like to break it down. Again, you've got these different avenues and you want to lead the way with the most simple giving option in that moment. So
That
yep.
makes sense. Yeah. And I was just thinking, just looking at the last one, the snail mail, what happens with me if I get something and I put it aside, I don't pick it back up.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's really easy, the QR codes right there, the text to give, I can just stand and finish. Start and finish right there. And I think that's on all of these, right? You've got to make it so simple and very few clicks.
Yeah. Yep,
can't
absolutely. That
No
is a
barriers.
great point, right? It's got to be like give now and this is how you do it. And that's where I say have options, but don't give options. Instead, lead the way.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So, you want to set your goal, stick to it, get to work, make the plan, and reach your goal, right, guys?
Yeah.
That's kind of my first part, Nancy, that I really wanted to talk about with making it easy.
Okay.
I do have just a couple other things maybe after the question and answer. And maybe if you have some questions and other people have some questions, now would probably be the right time for us to kind of talk about that.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, go ahead and populate in the chat box and I'll watch for those. I wrote down a couple of things as I was thinking about the online giving and I was just thinking about me personally when I pick up or, when things come across my desk, come across in the snail mail, like you were talking about. And it's that abandoning, and are you able to look at how many abandoned cart, or is that the term on you're looking at
cards?
Yeah.
Different ways that you can see that. And usually though, once people are on the form like I showed you,
Yeah.
you don't get many abandoned rates. What we can't track though is like if people come to your website, right? Like we're not tracking what they're doing on your website.
Okay.
That's where you're going to get a lot of abandon if people abandon right away because they don't feel like typing in a long URL on their phone, especially, and maybe they mistype it or something like that. And then once they get to your website's really designed as a brochure of many different things they can do.
Yeah.
And that's great so that they can learn about you. But if they already know who you are and they want to give, now you've just made it harder. They've got to your website. Now what?
Yeah.
And if they're on their phone, it might be more difficult to find how to give.
Yeah.
So you get another spot for them to bail.
Yeah. So I guess some entry exit points that you don't want them to exit. So I'm thinking, two things happening. One is you first get them to your, their event, they're at your event, the form's in front of them, or on the website, they've gotten to your website. I mean, that's a big feat right there, is to get to your website. They actually took action to go there. And I think one thing that I'm always looking for, and it's what I teach in my courses, is that messaging, making sure that message is right. And, what am I giving to? What problem am I solving? What's my money going to do? What's the impact? Because that is, I think, what will make me finish the deal, finish going through and clicking, because I've gotten there for a reason. I love the mission. I love what they're trying to solve, because we know the reason a nonprofit exists is because they're solving a problem or addressing a need. So I'm obviously interested if I've gotten to that point. So I think in you all, I'd love to hear in the chat box what you all think about that messaging, how important that message is. Jesse, you're talking about making it easy with the technology and remove any barriers and making it almost an enjoyable experience in the whole
Absolutely.
process.
They've heard your message. They're ready to give, and make it easy for them to give. Yeah, so I'd love to hear some questions if anyone has any questions. I saw not everyone's using text giving yet or anything like that. Based on what you said, if you have any questions about how to use some of these different tools or anything like that, I'd love to answer any questions that people have.
Yeah, if you're not, for those not using text to give, tell me why. What is the reason, do you think? Is it just time? Is it intimidating? You think people are turned off by it? Or I'd be curious, for those some of you have just popped in since we started, but I think you've kind of got the gist of what we're talking about. Those who just popped in, we did a poll asking who is giving, who's using text to give, and many are not. Many of those who are here when we did that poll said they're not doing text to give. So if you're not, tell us why not, just kind of your thought behind that. And then if you are, those of you who came in later and didn't answer that poll, maybe what you like about it. Is it good results? You feel like you need help with it? It's not working great. So I'd be interested in that. And you guys are being very quiet. Okay, Terrell, thank you. Here's a question. Text to give may feel a bit unsecured giving. Where is it going, really? Okay. Do you see that question, Jesse?
Yep. Great question. So there's been a couple, and then I also see Susan answered cost to use text to give. I want to use it though. So there's a couple things I want to talk about to answer these questions. When text giving originally came out, it was through your phone line. So that's when you see those commercials that say, text give to this back in the old days, and it automatically donated $5. There was nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
And $250 went to the phone company and $250 went to the organization, and then you paid for that on your bill. So that was also very secure. It's just that the cost was high, and yeah. I mean, that was only for very, very big organizations.
Yeah.
What we've created is something very cool, where the text to give, if they're your first time donor, it's a little bit different if they're repeat donors, okay? But if they're your first donor, it actually just instantly texts back a link that says, hey, just click this link to donate, which then brings up your donation form right on their phone. So they're not texting credit card numbers back and forth. They're not doing any of that stuff, and it's super simple. And the great thing is if they do it again, then they're able to just text the amount, because, well, maybe not all systems are the same, but with ours, repeat givers only need to text the amount they want to give again.
Okay.
So again, it's super secure. It all goes through our secure system. You're not texting credit card numbers back and forth. And within our system, it would be no different than if they donated on your website. It still goes through that same exact process. It's still stored in your donor management. Everything's the same, which is really nice.
I did not know that, Jesse. I mean, I appreciate your explaining that because I did not know that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question Terrell asked because it's like, where's it going? I mean, in that unsecure feeling. But
Yeah.
it's so different if I just typed in that link and it took
Mhm.
me to that same place.
Yep. And again, when you lead the way, even if people have questions, they said, oh, text this number to donate. Well, I'll just do it and we'll cross that bridge. And as long as what happens next is super easy, then people will follow the steps.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that answered your question, Terrell. If not, let us know. So on, you saw Susan's, the cost that to use text to give, is that a barrier for a lot of people, Jesse?
I think it might be a barrier depending on what system you use. It's definitely not a barrier like with Continue to Give because we actually offer text to give for free right out of the box because we just want to help you raise money. That's our goal. So, you know, there might be, if you're thinking of the old text to give program through the phone line, yeah, where the phone company does it, yeah, because they take 50% of your money right away and people can only donate $5. So,
Yeah.
you know, what's the point? With our system, people can give even if they don't want to use credit card, if they're using ACH, we do have the option for people to give directly from their bank account instead of credit cards, which lowers the fees significantly because there's no credit card company involved as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
So definitely a cost does not need to be a prohibitive thing with text to give anymore.
Jesse, let me read you Leslie's comment because I think this, you might have some suggestions for her, and I can see this with other organizations having this issue. She says, we are not using text to give, but I think it's more due to the fact that our organization really hasn't had a well-defined development program. I've used it at other organizations with some success, and am trying to shift the culture with regard to development to expand the options we have at our current organization. It's slow going.
Okay.
Advice for her on how to kind of move her organization along a little faster and be more accepting of the text to give.
Yeah, yeah. So I think one of the things you can do, so I'm assuming you have some sort of online giving system there. And for example, if you were to sign up for a text to give program, and maybe this is just me just right off the cuff, but
Yeah.
hand them a piece of paper and say to give, and then give them the long URL or try this text to give number and have them try it and say. And the other thing, if the cost isn't prohibitive, meaning you're signed up with a company that's not making it cost prohibitive, you really have nothing to lose to sign up for text to give and start using it. It doesn't have to be this huge like thing. It's just like, no, we're just going to sign up and we're going to put the text to give on our next snail mail that goes out or use it at our next event.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Especially at events. I think that I zeroed in on that.
yeah.
So let's
And
go ahead.
another place, I mean, so events is now becoming, you know, it's gray areas. This is an event we're in right now.
Yeah.
So you can also use text to give in these online events because you can bring something up on the screen that says, because if people are watching this on their computer, they can then give on their phone at the same time during the event. And
Right.
text to give works really good there as well. Because otherwise, if they click a link in your live event, they might lose the live event. So text to give works really good there too.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And on a lot of the online events now, and I don't think they'll go away, is, you've got the thermometer and you're watching it go. So you do want that activity. You want
Yeah,
that text to give going. Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah, Leslie says we
Yeah.
have a donation page on our website and a link to it through our Facebook. So maybe, Leslie, I like the idea that Jesse said, just put a piece of paper and try it in front of your others at your organization and give it a try and see how easy it is.
Yeah. So Sherry here, and I should ask Leslie, did that, before I move on, did that help answer some things? Or are you looking even when you say your development program, is there a lot of people involved in that? Is it a big team that you have to convince? Just give me a little more background on that before we move on to the next question.
You didn't know you were going to get so much attention, did you, Leslie? And Terrell says, thanks. I hope that was helpful, Terrell. That was helpful to me on the answer, Terrell.
Okay, so Leslie has a donation on their website and a link through our Facebook page. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
You want me to read Sherry's, or are you able to see that?
Yeah, I can see Sherry's. Oh, one thing I forgot, Nancy, we had told people if they stay to the end, they can get a special offer. So before I answer more questions, that should probably be when I just bring something up real quick, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
just so you guys know, I'm just gonna plug into the chats, our website, and then after this, I'm gonna answer some more questions.
Yeah, go ahead and enter the chat. I don't have that.
So right there, continuetogive.com is our website. So if you can go there, we do have a special offer for anyone here today. And I'm just gonna bring it up just so you guys know, we really have 3 pillars of our system. We've done the online giving and we make giving easy, but we've also taken it a step further. We've done the full donor management system and the fund accounting system. So if you're kind of tired of like, well, I've got this one system for donations, I'm kind of like got this other system for sending out mass emails, and I have no way to text people. And then I've got something else for accounting and something else for events. I mean, this system that we've built is incredible because I've been using it, people have been using it for many years, and we just keep advancing it and making it better. So it's the complete all-in-one system. And so for people here today, we're going to give you a 20% off on our full donor management system and fund accounting system. So if you go sign up today and walk through the process, because you can even use our online giving for free, we have a free version of it, which is awesome. And then that way, all your donations can come in, all your donor management is right there, because as you've probably been learning from Nancy, that relationship with your donors is so key. So that's why we want to get you guys set up today, if you're not already using something great, so that you can text people and email people and just keep them up to date with what you're doing. You can know when their birthdays are so that you can say happy birthday and have real genuine donations, so that when you're learning more with Nancy and you're going for those big asks, you're prepared. So, and
Yeah.
so probably is what I need to do though. I probably need to bring up that code here for you guys.
Yeah, I think, you know what, Terrell said he wasn't seeing the link. I just posted it. It's because, Jesse, you posted to panelist only. You know that.
Oh, okay.
You know how Zoom is funny about that. You've got to switch it over. So I've entered the link.
Okay, great. So yeah, and here's my screen. So this is what I was saying, how we've got the online giving, the donor management, and the fund accounting. So really a neat all-in-one system. You guys can sign up for free, use it for free. There's free trials. And then if you want that 20% off, here's your code X89UW. And
Hey,
now
Jesse,
20% off.
do you have a trial period?
Yeah, so we actually have a free version of our full online giving system. So you can start using all this stuff for free, no monthly fees.
Okay.
And then you can sign up for the donor management with that code, and you do get it 14 days free, cancel anytime, not, just try it out. So absolutely.
You know what I think about when I look at this is this was years ago, but we were using a large donor management company that everyone knows if I said the name, and then we added the fund accounting. I know it was over $50,000 to add that fund accounting, and I know you're not near.
No. We're not even at the $50 a month range. I mean, we want to make this available. I mean, we just care about helping nonprofits, right?
Yeah.
And we don't need to try and make money from one nonprofit, right? We want to help many, and we know that as more use our product, that that we have the money to pay our team to keep making it better, right?
Yeah.
So that's really our philosophy.
Jesse, if you'd put the code up again, someone asked for that code, please.
Absolutely.
There it is.
X89UW.
Okay, so I should type that in. And let's see, I had one more thing. I think that was it. I was thinking all kinds of questions. Why don't I go back to, it was a question with Sherry. Sherry, we haven't forgotten about you. Is that okay, Jesse?
Yeah. Let's head back into the questions. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I entered the code. Yes, it's there. So if I entered it wrong, let me know. I think that's right. But Sherry says, my organization is a brand new nonprofit, only been open for 3 months. How about that? Congratulations on that, Sherry. That's big.
Yeah.
To get that going. So we are still trying to get all of our processes in place. How would you go about establishing the text to give option? What's the charge? Is it set up as a one-time special event text fundraiser? It sounds like it's not. You can use it all the time.
Yeah, our system is really designed. So just to answer that question, Sherry, I'm assuming you're not expecting to do this one-time thing, right? This is going to be ongoing. What is your nonprofit, if you don't mind? And what are you guys doing? I'd love to hear if you want to put that in the chat.
Yeah. What's your mission? Yeah. And I don't know if you saw, I think that's Leslie was answering, she says she is the development team. You asked that question, how big?
Yeah. I'll jump back there. So let me see if I can answer Sherry's question. So, you've got your mission. I'm sure this is going to be long-term. With Continue to Give, you can just go sign up for free. Like I said, we do have our free version, and actually the free and the paid, they don't limit you on functionality. It's just the different rates that we've been able to work out with the payment processors. So if you go for the paid version, you get less fees taken out by the credit card company. And our fees are super low. They're going to be the lowest you see out there. So you can sign up, especially as a small organization. You can sign up on our website for free. You can get our that giving page that I showed right up on your website. And we do have text giving for free as well. So if you are having an event, it doesn't have to be a one-time event and then we also, our paid text to give just means you get your own custom number. If you want to buy a custom number, we facilitate that. It's super easy. You just type in your area code and get it. But so as a small nonprofit, you can get going and start using all our giving tools for free, which is really great.
That's great. I think if you'll pull up that screen again, Sherry was asking that. And did you see their mission? I'm just making sure.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to scroll down here. Addiction recovery services. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. We definitely need that. So yeah, go sign up. With our system, you do need to be a nonprofit with an EIN, of course. So hopefully you got that and you can sign up. So you wanted to see the screen for the code, Nancy?
Yeah, go ahead. Someone was asking, I think
right.
Sherry was. She says, yes, they are a 501c3. She's got that in order. And I know where you are. I started a 501c3, Sherry, from the beginning, and it's a lot of work to get your bylaws in place and your policies in place and your board together and then trying to do that at the same time fundraise. I mean, it's kind of like today I've got to figure out my policies, and tomorrow, the same time I'm raising money.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A lot to do. Okay. So there's the screen again. If you are interested in that, looking at the special offer, 20% off, but also just go check out the website, and there's a trial period, and I'm sure Jesse can answer any other questions if you start to dig in and
yeah, let me see what else we had here. We've got, so from Leslie, from the first question, you've got the donation page. Okay. You're the development team.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm the development team, but I'm new and have been very resistant. But they've been resistant. Okay. That's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
they want to make it hard for people to give. Maybe if you show them our program and you can see that they don't need to pay an arm and a leg for text giving and these other things, then maybe they'll be less resistant, because there are, other systems out there that have traditionally been trying to make things very expensive and sell to very large organizations. So yeah, maybe show them our program, and that could help. And we'd be more than happy to get on a demo. You can sign up for a demo, you can pick a time on our website. We'd be more than happy to show them around and see if we can break down some of those barriers for you, Leslie.
Well, I love that you're focusing on the small to medium-sized nonprofits, because that's really where I focus too. It's a different world. The fundraising process is really the same, but there's so many things that are different when you're in a small nonprofit and you're wearing so many hats.
Yeah.
Today, I saw that Nicole's on here. I know Nicole, and actually, Nicole, I think about a comment you made on one of our Wake Up Wednesdays in our AFP group is like, today I'm wearing this hat, and then this afternoon I'm wearing this hat, and tomorrow I'm doing this. And so it is a different animal when you're in a small to medium-sized nonprofit fundraising and trying to figure out your online program or online giving program and text to give. So this is good. I love
it. And it needs to be easy. So I can tell you, we've had some people, because we've gone through different times where it's like we're really busy. It's like, boy, maybe we should circle back and check on our people that have been with us for 8 years, and sometimes when we circle back and talk to people, they're like, boy, we almost forgot you guys existed. The money just comes in, the emails go out. It's just on autopilot, and that's how we try to make it. So we know people are wearing a lot of hats. We like to get you set up so that we're a tool that you use, not something you have to overcome.
Yeah, so that you can turn and do fundraising. Do take those online gifts. Now, the other thing I haven't said today, Jesse, is how important building your pipeline is for major gifts, because my focus is on major gifts. So you need to build that pipeline of donors and keep them in your circle of friends or your circle of donors, and then grow them if they have that potential.
Yeah, absolutely. So you do need a good donor management system to keep that going. And like you said the other day to me, help make them your heroes. So definitely want to be able to do that. Okay.
Jesse, would you put the screen up again? Sherry's wanting not the screen with the special code, but the one with your 3 circles with the management system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
I
And
think
the reason I keep taking it down is because then I have to look over here.
Oh.
So it looks funny, but I'll put that back up again.
Yeah, I think that's helpful. It is a good visual of how it works. Yeah, right there.
And keep in mind, there's a lot more features in our donor management system than what fits in this circle. But the main thing is anytime somebody gives, it's going to be in your donor management system. You're going to have their name and their email address and everything. And if they use the text to give, you'll have their text or their phone number. And then our system makes it really easy. We have a drag and drop email editor, kind of like MailChimp. So you don't have to go out and buy MailChimp. You can just use ours. Mm-hmm. You can send people text, just shoot them out a quick text, so you can do all that in here. Yeah. And if you're having events and you sell tickets, you can sell tickets through our system as well, which is really nice.
Jesse, what I say is about major gift fundraising is if you're not doing major gift fundraising, you're missing out. Mm-hmm. And the same I think about online giving and text to give. We focus a lot on text to give. You probably feel the same way about that.
Yeah. Well, I like to focus more on using the right tool at the right time, because if I focus too much on text giving, then I go to people's website and it says to give, text this number. And I'm like, I'm already right here. Just let me give,
Yeah.
So, but yes, text giving is really key. It's not the end all, but it's super key, especially if you're doing in person or you're sending out snail mail or doing live events like this. Super important then.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the biggest takeaway, is knowing when to put which option in what medium, right?
Yeah, definitely. That is, and I think going back, since I got the screen up, that is the biggest takeaway, knowing which option to use in which medium. So I'm just going to put that back up on the screen for everyone.
Yeah, we don't want to confuse our donors. They've already come to our location, whether it's a, in-person event, an online event, or an email or a social media, and we just got to make it really easy. Don't pull them away from that screen or that piece of paper. Don't let them leave, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So let me see here once. I'm going to stop sharing so that I can get, then it brings all the chats back up again for me. All right.
Okay. I think we're caught up. Terrell said, you see the question that Terrell mentioned? Does the nonprofit need to be a 501c3 or would a nonprofit 501c7 qualify? I think they do, don't they? On your
Yeah, I think now I forget what does the C7 is that's more with government stuff, right?
social club is what he has in
Yeah, that'll work. So you just have to be able to prove that whatever documents you have, because it's the Visa and MasterCard that work with us to give you a break on the processing rates.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Good
Okay.
question.
And then did you see FJ's question, Nancy?
Oh, maybe not.
It kind of popped up in a question and answer.
Oh,
There. There's two. There's Phillips. Phillips, I can answer yours real quick. Text to give is kind of out of the box with our system. So if you're using Continue to Give, when you sign up, there's some videos that walk you through how to get the donation form on your website, how to set up text to give and everything like that. So really easy. I can't speak to other systems. I don't know them. FJ had a question here. I don't know if I can answer this question specifically, but I will try. Would you talk briefly about using the system for local activism or party fundraising efforts? So one thing, we don't work a lot with like if someone's running for mayor and stuff like that. I don't know all the rules on what data you have to collect, because I know that there's certain data that you have to collect, and we may or may not meet that if we collect enough data, because there's some rules around that. But we do collect data because obviously we need to know who's donating to you. So if we match that, we have some really great crowdfunding tools which allow people to make their own giving page. So let's say you are the nonprofit. Other people can make their own fundraising pages similar to GoFundMe to promote your cause. And all that money goes to you. It doesn't go to them. Like they're just kind of like their own little marketing website for you.
yeah.
And then that kind of gets people excited because then they can hit their goals and stuff like that for you. So
Yeah. That's great. That's great to know. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you caught those questions. I'm sorry. And there's another one. Do you see that FJ is mentioned?
Yeah, let me see that.
I'll read it because I know everyone can't see that's in the Q&A, and that's fine to use the Q&A and not the chat.
Okay. Yeah, FJ, what I was talking about the individuals was just that they can make their own pages to promote you on their behalf and do some social fundraising. So yeah, I hope I answered your question though.
Okay, good deal. Okay, and you got Phillips. Thank you. Good questions, you guys. Good questions. Those were my only, and mine was around marketing and abandoned cart, and we talked about that. Only thing else I could say, and as we wrap up, Jesse, is it harder? I mean, I know you're in the IT and the management world, but I'm just wondering what you see in keeping those donors coming back, those online who have given online or through different means like this. Is it harder?
Yeah, definitely. So we work with churches and nonprofits. Sometimes you could say the churches have it a little bit easier because the people are there. They're there every Sunday. I notice, what we see is the people that are using a good donor management system, that are emailing people good emails and letting them know and really connecting with people like what you've talked about, Nancy. Mm-hmm. That's how you keep the donations coming back. And the other thing is to encourage people to do the recurring giving. So our system is set up so it's super easy for people to give recurring. And if you can get people set up on recurring donations, that is that's an A+ thing, right?
Yeah.
So if every month they're giving 50 or $100 to your organization and you don't have to remind them,
Right.
that's a big deal. You know, that's $1,000 a year from somebody. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you addressed that. Well, as you mentioned, major gift fundraising is about relationships, but really all fundraising, you want it to be about the relationship, whatever the size of the gift, because you never know. Everyone is a potential for, a planned gift. I mean, everyone is a potential for a planned gift.
yeah.
So, that's what major gifts lead beautifully to, is planned giving. So this all works along that donor giving path, along that pipeline. And it starts with online giving as an easy way, or we want it to be easy, like you've just described today. Is we want it to be really easy. So you get them on your list as a donor for the first time, and then you always want to keep your donors. I say that. In major gift fundraising, you don't want to start over every year. In a sense, you want to keep the donors you have. Love those donors.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, before we wrap it up, I mean, any last second questions that anybody has?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I'm looking. I don't see any. Those are great questions. Thanks everyone for, you're very welcome, Sherry. Yeah, many hats indeed. Yes. So thanks for your comments and questions, and joining us to talk about online giving and all the different ways and when to use things appropriately so that people follow through. That's my big takeaway for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate everyone that attended. I hope that you can get some good takeaways and put this stuff into practice. And thank you so much, Nancy, for letting me speak to your audience here. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jesse. We appreciate your being here, and thanks for all the tips. So thanks again to you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Bye now.
Bye, everyone. Take care.